7 items that I would buy the trendy, more affordable versions of over the expensive designer ones. I've learned many lessons after buying designer for over 10 years now, but these are the pieces that for me just aren't worth the high price points, and this is why. The first item is a simple tote bag, and the reason that I would prefer to buy an affordable, trendy version of a simple tote bag is quite simply that there are some really fantastic affordable luxury brands right now that I think are possibly doing the simple tote bag better than some of the high-end designer houses. Now, when it comes to a tote bag, they're generally easier to construct in the first place, so I would prefer to save my money and buy a special, more complex piece to make from the higher end fashion houses, because a lot of the affordable luxury brands don't have the same kind of range when it comes to detail and the craftsmanship. But a tote bag, since they are easier to construct, well, you can pick up some full leather versions that I think are arguably way cooler than like a Louis Vuitton Neverfull, for example, that are full leather, not canvas, and a fraction of the price. So this, as an example, my Louis Vuitton Neverfull, I've decided to keep this because it is a limited edition, but imagine this without the flowers on. As well, thanks to price increases, I believe a Neverfull MM, which is this size here, now retails around £1,500, closer to $2,000 in the US. And let's bear in mind that this is a coated canvas. This here, only the trim is leather. None of this here is leather. Now, arguably the coolest affordable tote bag right now is from Pelen, and this is the Sign bag. It comes in a mini size and a regular size. They have quite an array of colors, and I must say it is so beautiful. This is a full leather bag. It has 2 strap options, so you get a longer strap option for the shoulder, and you also get like smaller handles for a top handle carry. You can extend the bag out if you want to fit more inside, or you can fold it in. I personally prefer it when it's folded in. I think it looks so beautiful. And this is going to cost you about 1/3 of the Neverfull. Now, another affordable luxury brand that I really love is D'Amelia. Now, they have just brought out one of my favorite ranges, which is the Tokyo. I have the Tokyo shoulder bag in the large size here, which I absolutely adore. They've just brought this out in a tote bag where you've got this beautiful detail on the front. Now, when you shop on the D'Amelia website, your taxes, duties, and shipping are all included. And another popular one that I see quite a lot from D'Amelia is actually the New York tote bag. I saw one in London the other day. Again, really, really beautiful, and about 1/4 to 1/3 of the price of Louis Vuitton. Now, if you are looking for a premium, more affordable luxury tote, I have just received this and I am blown away by the quality. So this is a brand, this is the first time that I've ever had a piece from them. This did arrive a few weeks ago. I have been using it since. I'm really excited actually to take it away with me very soon. This is from a brand called RSVP. Guys, I will link to all the bags that I mentioned down below in the description box for you so that you can shop this video super easily. But let's take a look at this. As soon as I saw it on the website, and just for full disclosure, this was gifted. Oh my gosh, the smell of the leather. I don't think the other affordable luxury brands can compete. This is slightly at a more premium price point, however. This is the parachute bag. This is in the large size. They do actually have an oversized one as well, which I've just seen on the website. And I have to admit, I'm even tempted by that because this is just, wouldn't this make the most perfect travel bag? We do have a pocket on the front here. We also have a pocket on the back, and the reason that this is more premium, again, is that the leather that is used, you can just tell, is really high quality premium. So with the parachute bag, one of the things that I love is the handles kind of fold out like this. So then you've got like full access to the bag. Nothing is getting in the way. We have a pocket on the back, and inside, you can just see how big this is. You know, if you're traveling, you just want to throw like a cardigan or a jumper in there. How fantastic. Let me show you this on my shoulder. So this is it on the shoulder for size reference. It's so beautiful. It has a magnetic closure as well, so it does feel more secure. And we have a fabulous drop here, so it doesn't feel like it's right under your armpit. You can kind of just casually keep it closed like this. How beautiful. Do you know what? I'm going to compare this to the Saint Laurent Icare tote bag. So these are actually, if you look, very similar in size, except this one retails at £3,500 and this one more like £1,000. I would say this one actually has a stronger smell of leather. It feels more premium. So for an affordable luxury brand, of course you're paying thousands for this logo here versus something that is way more low key. And this one sits a lot higher, as you can see. versus this one. Now I have a dilemma because I don't know if I need this bag anymore because I think I prefer the RSVP parachute bag. Now, if you are looking for a workhorse of a tote bag at an even cheaper price point, look no further than Longchamp. When I was in the States recently and when I go to London, I see so many of these bags. They're fantastic if you get a nylon version because you can actually fold them up so they're super easy to travel with. They're zip closure so they are fully secure. And I think the mini lit pliage is absolutely adorable. I have the Pannier, which is a tote bag. This one does not have a zip closure. It is a popper closure, but I got this one because it's in this beautiful kind of raffia. Super lightweight, does come with a crossbody strap as well. And this one retailed at around £200. So when it comes to tote bags, I would ditch the expensive designer fashion houses and stick to trendier versions. Hey, if you are new here, my name is Steph. Now the second item on my list that I would buy trendy versions of are actually designer trainers. And one of the reasons that I say this, you have to be careful with all designer footwear. Once you've put them on your feet and walked out the shop, of course at that point you can't return them because they're worn. So if you find out that they're uncomfortable or maybe not your style and you're just not wearing them so much, they're also a lot harder to sell than something like a bag, because if you have a buyer, they need to be the same size that you are to be interested in purchasing. So designer footwear, in my experience, can very quickly lead to some expensive regrets. Now there are two types of trainers that I personally would buy trendy versions of and do buy trendy versions of now versus the high-end designer ones. And that is because I realize, especially when it comes to trainers, the main point of wearing them is comfort. So the two styles, the first one is a tennis style sneaker. Now I did buy a designer Hermes pair of day sneakers. These cost me around £1,000. And I will say, I do think they are beautiful and they are comfortable. But if I didn't have this luxury YouTube channel and I wasn't going to London all the time shopping and vlogging, to be honest, I think I would be super happy. I actually have some Lacoste style tennis shoes, which I find really comfortable. They're about a 10th or an 11th of the price of the sneakers. So for me, these are definitely going to be probably my last pair of designer sneakers that look a tennis style. The second style of trainer, of course, is like a proper trainer, like going to the gym, going running. I really don't see the need to wear a pair of designer sneakers. I have been very tempted with some Dior and some Chanel trainers before because I have heard they are incredibly comfortable. But to be honest, I haven't brought myself to actually go and buy a pair of Chanel sneakers because I find brands like Nike and New Balance just feel a little bit cooler than wearing a pair of Chanel trainers. What do we think? A personal favorite of mine actually right now are the New Balance 327s. I've got my eye on the rain cloud color. I think these are super chic and they kind of a little bit remind me of the Loewe Flow Runner trainer. A trainer again that I've been very tempted to buy, still am tempted to buy, but I did try them on and honestly the sole of the Flow Runner trainer was super hard. So I think it's going to be wiser from a comfort point of view to stick to something like New Balance. Now I know that this third category is going to be divisive, so let me know what you think, but it's actually designer jewelry. Now I have been very tempted. Of course you have Cartier, you have Van Cleef, you have Tiffany, you have Bulgari, and all of these brands arguably have some very beautiful timeless designs that I know a lot of people like to collect. But when I was recently considering some designer jewelry, I posted it over on my Instagram and someone got in touch who really knows their stuff about jewelry, and they said, please don't buy the designer stuff, head to your local jeweler and you're going to be able to get so much more precious metals, diamonds, etc. for your money. And of course it's the same thing with designer bags. You are paying for a logo, you're paying for the brand and the packaging. So for me, more trendy pieces of jewelry and fine jewelry without the designer brand markup, I think is a better investment. There are three main reasons why. Now I have to say, I am still very, very tempted with the Bulgari Serpenti. I tried on the Viper bracelets, they were gorgeous, and also the rings, so I really love them. But three of the reasons. The first one, price increases. This happens on luxury items such as bags, but it also happens on jewelry. And you're not actually getting anything more for your money. It is literally the exact same object, but because it's a luxury brand selling it, they just hike the prices up overnight. And this is exactly what's happened with the Bulgari Serpenti. I remember looking at the gold ring, like the plain ring. When I first started looking at it, I think it was £1,400, and now I'm pretty confident it's over £2,000 or something like that. Like it just kept going up and up and up, and I'm like, wait a minute, I could go to my local jewelers and still buy the same thing that I could a few years ago and get so much more for my money. Like, what am I paying that extra additional amount of money for? The second reason is you see some of these pieces on so many people. Maybe it's my Instagram algorithm that has ruined a few of these brands for me, but when you see these huge like Cartier Van Cleef stacks, do I think they look cool? Yes. Am I interested in building one? No. And the third reason, again, is that when anything gets popular, you start to see a lot of fakes, a lot of dupes. You see so many dupes of the Van Cleef stuff. I was actually just browsing a website the other day and they had like the necklaces for like £100. Of course, if you are into Van Cleef, you will know the difference from the actual real thing using precious metals versus these dupes. But I would actually rather have a more unique piece of jewelry. And another point here actually when it comes to jewelry is I have purchased in the past costume jewelry from brands like Chanel. I do have a Chanel necklace. I don't really wear it that much anymore because it is a big CC logo. So I might sell it, but I haven't decided yet. And I feel a little bit silly that I purchased this because it cost me, I think, about £500 or £600 from Chanel, but none of it is real gold. It's not even plated with real gold. It is literally costume jewelry. I have literally bought a piece of metal, and because it's in the shape of a CC, I have paid a premium for it. Versus there are so many brands out there where I could have actually got precious metals, just not the logo. And arguably it would have been a much more timeless investment in my jewelry collection. An affordable luxury brand that deals with handbags has now also just gone into jewelry. That is Pelen. They have this really beautiful kind of gold plated bracelet, very reasonably priced, and all the pieces look really contemporary. So I absolutely love that. But my favorite brand, because I'm actually into more fine jewelry with solid gold pieces so that I can wear them all the time, are from Idyll. These are my earrings that I wear all the time, and you can take these attachments off and just wear the stud if you want to. I also have this beautiful necklace. So again, I can just wear this. Sometimes I don't take these things off for a few days. And because they're solid gold and lamp-grown diamonds, the price is not extortionate. And I get so many compliments, people asking me where these pieces are from. So for me, designer jewelry is pretty much a no-no. The fourth designer item that I've never understood, like I've really never got this one, okay, is a designer cosmetics case. You see them, we have the Louis Vuitton vanity cases, the Dior cases. Let me give you some prices here. Okay, I've got some notes, that's why I'm looking down, but we have this Dior Cosmetics vanity case. It retails at £1,600, probably close to $2,000. This is a really simple design of a case. It's only got one compartment. It doesn't look like you can organize anything inside. You know, if I'm going away, I might take a cloth with me so I can take my makeup off, and I want to be able to store that separate to my makeup. If something spills inside, God forbid, the piece is potentially ruined. From Louis Vuitton, we have the Nice case. This one retails at £940, nearly £1,000 in the UK. I just don't get this. I would much prefer to buy a makeup case from Amazon. I recently purchased one. I will link it down below. It opens out, it stays out. We've got loads of pockets. We've got a zip compartment on the front, and it cost me £15. Oh, and it's waterproof. If you do want a vanity case that is made out of really nice leather, a brand that I would recommend that is way more affordable is Aspinall of London. So they usually have a range of vanity cases on their website, and the Aspinall of London leather is beautiful. They did have a case, I don't know if it's still available on their site, but this all leather vanity case was £185. So about a fifth of what you would pay for Louis Vuitton. Remember, the Louis Vuitton one as well is the canvas. It is not full leather, whereas the Aspinall is full leather. The fifth designer item that I'm embarrassed to admit that I've even invested in. What a mistake this was. Gosh, it's a designer coffee cup. Why did I buy this? This is the Saint Laurent coffee mug. And I thought, you know, when I'm having a photo or whatever, this would look great. I bought this because I do make content around luxury, but I really regret this purchase. It was stupid, and I will not be buying a designer coffee mug again. This particular one, for example, it's very heavy. It feels like it's going to smash. Like, if I drop this, I know it will smash. I think it's ceramic. The lid, can you see all the dust on there? Like, honestly, look how gross this is. And I have washed this and I haven't used it since. The lid just comes off super easily. I've complained about this before on YouTube. I'm sorry if you saw that video as well. I can't even get it on. But the lid literally just comes off at the drop of a hat. Yeah, this was about £100. Really silly mistake. Definitely will not be buying an expensive coffee mug again. A brand that I do definitely rate, and it's very trendy right now, however, is Stanley. I have this thirst quencher. Obviously you could fill this with coffee, but you would probably shoot your adrenals out if you did. I have water in here and it stays cool all day. They also have a travel coffee mug. I think it's about £30. A much better option for a third of the price of a silly designer coffee mug. The sixth designer item I just cannot justify, won't justify, is a designer suitcase for multiple reasons. But let's take a look at some of the prices again. We have the Louis Vuitton Horizon. This is a really popular one. I do tend to see this at airports. It retails at £2,500 just for the suitcase. We also have this Dior travel case. Okay, this one's even more expensive. And I mean, this looks like a canvas material. Like, imagine how dirty this is going to get when it's just thrown around at the airport. This one retails at £3,800. These prices are wild. Now, not only are these expensive pieces, I would personally prefer to buy a bag that I can take with me on a cabin and enjoy from day to day versus buying travel luggage. One of the huge setbacks that I've never understood about designer luggage as well. Number one, I prefer to buy bags that I can use kind of day to day, so I'm gonna get more use out of them ideally. But the second one is you're drawing attention to your luggage, and when it's out of your control at the airport and you've checked it in, like, are you not just making your luggage more of a target? Because it's not unheard of that bags can be broken into by airport staff, or if someone is looking to steal a piece of luggage off a carousel or something like that. Again, which one are you going to take? The kind of standard suitcase or the one that costs £2,500? Because even if it's got nothing in it, you know you can sell it. It just baffles me. Okay, so one of the trendier brands that I know is renowned for their impeccable quality, and they also have, I believe, a lifetime guarantee. Now, these are still expensive, but they're nowhere near as expensive as the Dior we've just looked at and the Louis Vuitton. This is around half the price of the Louis Vuitton, but this is Rimowa. I think they're very trendy right now. They are hard shell suitcases, and again, if anything functionality-wise goes wrong with this, they will replace it for you. Personally, I just prefer something like an IT suitcase, nothing fancy, don't attract any attention to my luggage at all, and I just hope it makes it to the other side with me. And the seventh category that I would much rather buy contemporary, affordable luxury versions of are t-shirts and hoodies. Who is with me? The price that you pay for some of these brands to kind of splash their logo on the front of a plain white t-shirt, and some of them aren't even that high of a quality, but you're paying hundreds of pounds for the logo. It just makes zero sense to me. We have this Dior J'adore t-shirt here. It retails at £690 in the UK, nearly $1,000 in the US. I would much prefer to buy just a plain white, high quality t-shirt, and brands like COS and Reiss are some of my favorites. Like, for this amount of money, just to demonstrate, I would prefer to buy, I studied fashion design at college, and I can appreciate different materials, colors, and constructions of things. I brought a Zimmermann top recently, which is like one of the most unique cuts of a top I've ever seen. I actually got it in the Net-a-Porter sale, and it was the same price as the J'adore t-shirt, about £690. For me, there is no comparison. The Zimmermann top is so cool, it's so unique, it's so different. Arguably, you'd wear a t-shirt maybe more than you would this, but I would rather save my money, buy a more unique piece, and get a high quality, high street version of a plain tee. And this goes for things like hoodies and that as well. It kind of feels like the brands have got lazy and put their logo on. Save your money and buy something that's actually taken time to design and create that feels different. Now, the common thread that I have found as I've made this video, the more simple the item, like a simple tote bag or a t-shirt or a vanity case with no detail, I will avoid buying from an expensive designer fashion house, because I don't think they're capable of putting the detail in compared to more affordable luxury brands. I would rather save my money and buy super unique pieces with super high quality craftsmanship that don't feel lazy, they feel well thought out and well designed. That is where I'm more likely to buy a higher price point piece. Let me know what you think, but make sure you don't go anywhere, because coming up next, the best and worst designer bags that I think you can buy right now. Enjoy.